Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dark Lore. I'm Jeremy Hochhalter, the owner, operator, whatever of this here channel, but I am not the DM of the game. That is John, that happy, smiling picture you see in that corner. So I'll hand it over to him. Hi, John.
Hello. Hello. I am here to kill you.
Yay!
We were in the throes of combat, it appears, here. I'm just taking a look at everybody, just kind of get a feel for where we were. It's been a couple of weeks. But it appears as though the vile corpulence, the gigantic creature there with a big bloody maw, is all up in Tina and Raylan's business. It has been largely ignoring Shekal. Urala is, let's see here. I think here, let's see here. Are you grappled? I think you're grappled there, Raylan. I think that's what those symbols there are.
My roll
Maybe.
20 is being a little not fun. So if you say I'm grappled, I'm grappled.
I'm just looking at the symbols on you. Are you unconscious? Are you at 0 hit points?
No, I am at 42.
Okay, 42.
And I'm just seeing the
book.
The book. So
maybe
if you want
that's why.
Yeah, if you want to drop us over onto the map.
I mean, I guess so. I suppose.
There we are.
There you
Okay.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm not seeing the book at all. It's like the link to that has kind of failed. You guys saw the book, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Right. And then there appears to be one of these Aleps still left. We're going to start at the top of the initiative order with Tina.
Because I remember everything so clearly. All right. If I recall correctly, every time I talk to the corpulence, he just tries to take over my mind. So maybe it's not completely worth my time, though he clearly needs a dentist, a masseuse, a wardrobe person. I don't know.
Maybe a priest.
Yeah, maybe a priest, maybe a blood transfusion and oxygen. Like, he needs some help. And we're gonna throw up the tried and true. I have just enough life in me still happening. Wall of light on him to see what happens with that. I'd like to produce a wall of light on him.
Okay, let me do a little bit of light. Where would you like it?
Let's see here. With, I guess, this guy and on the corpulence where it touches both of them.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
sounds
wall
about
of light.
right.
Okay, cool. So you cast wall of light, and a big old wall of searing light comes into play. And well, let's take a look here. I should have this spell memorized by now. It's a favorite spell of Dark Lord here. Let's see here. Creatures pass through it. Blah 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 blah. There's light in there. Something. All right. When the wall appears was what I was looking for here. Creatures in the area must make con saving throws. Okay. The Aleph makes a con. Saves against your DC 12. Roll a 14. And the Corpulence rolls a con.
I think we figured that her DC was wrong. That never got fixed apparently, because 12 at level 16 is
It is rather low, isn't it?
Probably not correct.
Let's just take a quick look. See here. She's got a 14 in charisma, so it'd be 5 and 8. It should be 15. 8 and 2 and 5 should be 15. Why? Oh, why is it not? No, it's reflecting 15 here on her sheet. So why on the spell? Why does it do that?
That is
Weird.
weird.
Yeah, that is really weird, isn't it?
That's weird.
Yeah.
The sheet is correct. So the 14 will totes fail. Where's the roll? There it is. The 14 totes fails. The 21 does not. So the Aleph is going to get blasted by your magic, which deals 20 points of radiance, which is just enough to take him out.
Yes.
Oh,
Chris.
nice.
Yeah.
Blam! And it's half, I believe, and not blind. Blended. Half as much. So our good friend, the Vile Corpulence, will take 10. He's not happy about that. He's going to retaliate at some point.
Of course he is.
Not blind. Boop, 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 boop. And if he ends his turn there, he's going to take some damage, and he's not super into that either. Okay. Anything else, Tina?
No, I'm gonna not talk to the corpulence any longer. Though I know in my heart he needs a lot of help. Maybe therapy even.
A hug at the very least.
Absolutely. Maybe not from one of us.
Yeah,
Not yet.
that's fair.
Not yet. I'll hug his dead body, maybe.
Okay, well, that's going to take us to Urala.
All right. Well, I do remember that this guy seemed to be immune to my charms. And by charms, I mean necrotic damage. So, and since I'm no longer engaged with anyone, I am going to go ahead and pull out my holy symbol, which is a little stylized grave marker, and from it will spring a bolt of light that will hopefully smoosh into him. Let's find out. Oh, let's see. Do I have... Yes, let's cast this at 3rd level.
Yeah.
27.
Oh, yeah,
Does a 27 hit?
Totally hits him. That totally hits him. I mean, he doesn't like it, but yeah, he's not too happy about that.
Into it.
All
So
right,
it's,
so it's 17 total radiant damage.
Radiant.
17 total radiant. Okay. It's pretty unhappy about that.
I'm okay with that.
He vows vengeance, etc.
That will I need to stay there because my ghostly gravestones are like floating around me, and I want him to be in it when it's his turn, so I will stay right there.
Perfect. I think that it's not if he enters the wall, he ends the turn. Okay, so he's fine while he's there. Cool. That takes us to Raylan.
See. She is grappled, right?
I believe so. I think she's grappled and stunned. I think that's what the two symbols on her were. I took them off because I wasn't really sure. So let's just go ahead and say, since it's been a couple of weeks, we're just going to start a little fresh so we can push past this monster.
Okay. So she's not grappled and stunned.
Correct. Yeah, not grappled and
Okay.
stunned. Consider it a small touch of kindness from
Oh, thanks.
a being
Yeah.
being keeping an eye out for you.
Okay. She do not eat my headphones. Sorry. My cat was just trying to eat my headphones.
Eat the headphones. Do it.
She is going to and she's right up against this thing.
Yep.
So she is going to Is it already focused on her?
It's currently focused on all of you.
Okay.
You put at least 2 or 3 of you in his maw at once.
Can
It looks like it's
she
thinking about it.
My brain is very slow today. She's going to use her dagger to provoke it.
Okay.
And then hold her second attack because she has 2 attacks per action.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What's the trigger for that?
Come on.
27 hits.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yes. Now it's just a melee weapon, so I doubt it's going to do much. But
Okay, 7 points. Wow, big spender, big spender. Kind of sinks a little bit into like a pocket of like pestilent, pestilent fat and kind of decaying muscle. And you're gonna hold the other dagger for.
yeah, she's going to hold the other dagger for a moment because she's just trying to like provoke its attention.
Okay. So what's the trigger? If he assaults you, or
Yeah. Like if he comes for her, she's gonna go for him, but she's trying to provoke him to get him to kind of stay where he is on her. It's kind of like the plan here.
Oh,
Sexy.
anything else, Raylan?
Nope. She's good right there.
Awesome. He's going to take a legendary action and bam, right there. Oh no, he's touching the wall. That can't. There you go. Boom. Teleports. Shakal.
He's still in the light.
In my notes, I have from last game says you can't do anything on your turn. You are grappled, restrained. Sad face.
Oh, you're grappled and restrained. I don't have a symbol on you, so just assume that for this brief moment, it has dropped its focus on keeping ye contained.
Excellent.
You've seen this
I will
before.
move,
Simon Tiber did the same.
and I am filled with rage. So I will move up and smack him twice. Well, yeah, we'll start out with 2.
Oh yeah, both hit. Bam, bam. That's a total of 22 points of punch damage, and that is precisely what he needs to go down. Tell me how you take him out.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna punch him in the open pectoral that he has, and hopefully burst some sort of internal organ.
His mammary.
Yeah, you do this like crazy, just super move that you learned at the monastery, and energy, your ki ripples through his body, tearing open his pectoral muscle and exposing his heart. Your second attack hits his heart, and it disintegrates into dust, and he collapses.
Yes.
Next up, Simon Tiber.
Simon, we're coming for you.
So there's a tunnel behind him, tunnel that he's been largely blocking, and it's kind of hard to see, I guess, through the light. No, the light's opaque, isn't it? Is it?
It is.
Opaque on the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to see it at the moment.
Once he's dead, I'll take concentration off.
All right. Cool. We'll go ahead and move you guys down to the book.
The book.
The book. Right. So what do you do?
Well, to start, I'm just going to like plop down and take a breath because I was not expecting to be dropped directly into the frying pan and the fire. And is everyone okay?
I kind of need a long rest, but I'm going to be a little twitchy. Not quite right.
How does everybody look? Does anyone need healing? Is that what it's called? Healing from your death cleric?
Yes. I need lots of healing. Lots.
I think I can do this. I'm going to take out that staff and heal you. I just need to make sure. Okay, so I did mass cure wounds on us last time. Which means I have 5 charges left. How far down are you there, Tina?
39 of 122.
You're at 39 of 122, or you're...
No, I'm at 39, but my full is 122.
Okay, let's
I'm
do...
pretty low.
I'm going to spend 3 charges to do 3d8 plus 4. So you're going to get 18 back. That was mediocre. This is why healing is overrated. You should just not get hit so much. And then you wouldn't have to rely on me to heal you.
Still super grateful. Super grateful. I will endeavor to not be hit as much.
I appreciate that. How's everybody else look?
I'm at 42 out of 132, so like
Yeah.
I'm at like a third of my health ish, but like I'm all right. Ish, kind of. One good smack might take me out.
Let's do... I'm a little concerned because as I, made myself one with this staff, I realized that if I use up all of its charges, it has a chance of breaking. So let's do a 1 charge.
Fine. Yeah.
You.
Well, and can we at least short rest?
Oh, we could do
No.
that.
You could short rest.
Would you like the short rest here?
I believe I would.
I don't know if I want a short rest in this horrible,
I was gonna
nasty
say in the
room.
middle of a like summoning circle. I don't know if that's a
Right.
good place to short rest.
Summoning circle.
What's
Or
down
just
the
really-
hallway?
It's a narrow hallway or narrow like tunnel that bends northwards. It seems to go on for a while.
Okay. Let's go to the bend so we can see both ways. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, kind of like back ourselves into a corner, which could either be smart or dumb, but
Right.
we'll see.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you press forward.
And then take a rest in the bend.
Sure. You make it to the bend. Tunnel continues on. It winds kind of northwestern past the bend. On the other side of the bend, you can still see the chamber of death that you were teleported into. But no signs of anything. Continue down the hall, or you could hang out here.
Everyone good with hanging out here, or do you want to continue on?
Yeah. Let's I would say take a short rest right here.
Okay, so you take a short rest.
Yes.
All right. So everybody go ahead and regain any features that may regain on a short rest. And you're welcome to spend hit dice if you wish.
Oh, Raylan has so many hit dice.
Right?
I'm like, I could easily spend like 5 or 6 of these.
Might as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna that go through.
We'll go with that.
I don't know if mine pushed through.
I'm not seeing
I
him. I'm
don't
seeing Gilbert's.
Ugh, okay. Well, I regained 31. So,
Perfect.
all right. So she's at like 73 out of 132. So,
I'll go ahead and spend that charge to heal you for an extra 8.
nice. All right.
Sweet.
Gilbert, how's Shakal looking?
I'm not sure if you guys can hear me.
We can now.
Call
yeah.
is good.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you feel a bit more rested. Nothing has passed through the teleportation circle, nor has anything approached you from either side of the bend, which is unusual. It's oddly very still in the air at the moment. Further down the corridor, you can smell the faint scent of smoke. And then something else, something kind of oily, something heavy, like petroleum, but kind of
What is
turned
this?
a bit.
Petroleum.
I do speak of.
What kind of smoke? Is it like wood smoke, or is it like someone's burning their
Oil smoke.
trash? Yeah.
Like a
It smells like someone's burning
barbecue,
trash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like
kind of
like
foul.
body trash or like
Oh,
just
good
trash?
question.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely the scent of like decay. There's the scent of burning flesh. I mean, it's faint. Smoke doesn't really fill the tunnel all that much, but there is the scent of it.
Obviously, we are going in the right direction.
So we're going to a barbecue.
Who doesn't love a barbecue?
I didn't bring a side dish. I'm sorry.
You're the side dish.
Wait, you didn't have to tell us that. If we just want to go back to town, we could stay there. I mean, we could get side dishes and
And come back
right.
with side dishes. You know, corn, coleslaw, potatoes.
I am severely regretting this decision to listen to the people who sent us here.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
They believe in you.
Do they? Do they really though?
I don't know if they really do.
So do you press forward? Do you follow the smell?
Sure.
Are we gagging? Or is it like interesting?
It's not really an impediment. It's not pleasant. It's kind of the scent of war. Something that has torn through the countryside. If the countryside were underground, and you can definitely get a sense of devastation as you press forward through the tunnel, and it continues for a good hour or so. Every now and then, the tunnel will open up into a small kind of pocket cavern. There'll be a pond of some sort. There are these small fish people creatures, big bulbous eyes and lipless mouths, and some have kind of visible gills, and others have little bits of the fins that are lodged against their cheekbones. They've got long, kind of needle-like, sharp teeth. Every time you encounter them, however, you find them in grotesque displays of cruelty and horror, as their remains are strewn about, cast aside as if by something using very little effort. It's clear as you press forward, as you find more and more of these scenes, that you are indeed following a trail of carnage that will inevitably lead you to what you're seeking. Do you press forward?
Well, yeah.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about that? That is expensive.
Pretty bad though.
So as you continue, suddenly the tunnel opens up into a large expanse. There's a shell of a village. You can see some forms. They're small in stature, kind of have the same shape. Those fish people you've been seeing. There are buildings on fire. Several dead creatures strewn about, just their bodies totally rended, and like folded inside out, like just a horrible sight. There are torches burning throughout the village, producing dim light, and you can see just up ahead the edge of a very dark, still lake. It has a cluster of these fish people standing at its edge. They appear to be engaged in something. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what from where you're standing. Maybe like a dozen of them.
This is what's wrong with martial law. Just saying. Well, should we talk to them with all our weapons out? Talk to them gently.
Do they have weapons?
They do not appear to be brandishing weapons. They do appear to be moving in a slightly slower pace. Not the pace necessarily of the wounded, but it appears to be every movement appears to have a sense of purpose. They may be engaged in some sort of cultural rite or perhaps a religious ritual of some sort.
Some sort of march, walk thing.
Well, they're huddled at the edge of the lake. They're some of them do very distinct hand gestures. There's blurbling warble that a small trio of them make, as a one who is wearing slightly more distinct clothing is slowly shuffling about, kind of in a counterclockwise circle. And then every now and then it will stop and yell out, "Kosh, Ka!" And then there's a murmuring from the crowd that's gathered.
So like a choreographed display, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do any of us understand what they're saying?
It's still too far to really get an idea of what they're saying. Koshkash could be anything. You can roll me a knowledge nature to identify these creatures, or perhaps history.
Nature, you say?
I'll even give you religion. Religion, history, or nature.
I didn't.
Oh, perfect. These creatures are called Koatoa. They are a slightly subterranean, water sort of critter. Sometimes neutral and indifferent. Oftentimes hostile to surface dwellers and invaders. These lads appear to not even have anyone on watch. There are people, or Koatoa, kind of shuffling about. in the shell of the village. They appear to be kind of peering into each building, taking stock. One of them has like a little clipboard, and they're marking things with like a squid ink, squid bone. Well, there's no bones in squids, but like a fish bone quill. It's kind of the spine, and they've carved out a part of its head to use squid ink to write onto this little paper that appears to be fashioned from some kind of sinew or I'm looking for the right thing. It's not skin. It's like
Membrane.
membrane. That's a great word.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're kind of writing on this membrane, shaped like a clipboard, and they're kind of taking stock as they go from building to building. But there is a large group of about 12 of them towards the lake's edge.
Do we want to... Have they seen us?
They probably at this stage, if you're not trying to stay hidden, if you're trying to be inconspicuous, probably not. They're not the most observant creatures. If you are just standing there, they will eventually take note.
Tell me in what world it seems like Raylan is never not sneaking around.
Right?
That's totally
I mean,
fair.
that is totally fair, except for like Urala is just like clang, 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 clang.
Raylan just kind of has this look on her face. It looks like she wants to face palm if she knew what face palming was.
Are you going to approach these Koatoa, or are you going to continue watching?
If we approach them, we should have a good story. Travelers, salesmen.
I mean, I've got a great story. We were teleported down here, and some super corpulent, horrid thing with the terrifying mouth tried to eat us.
And it was amazing! No.
And it was terrifyingly amazing.
All right.
Mhm.
We just gotta sell it with charisma, right?
Someone
should
else
talk.
may want to do that.
I'm down for whatever, but maybe a chat would be good. Maybe they
Yeah,
know.
Raylan just like, oh, I don't think I can stop you two, so.
What is Shakal doing? Is Shakal like with us, or did he just like take off and he's like running across the water?
Calls waiting for instruction, just standing by while the conversation's going on.
Are you that level yet? Can you just like run across the water, or that might be higher level for you? Sure, Tina, I'm fine with going down to see what they're doing. And
unless we investigate around them, maybe we could do that first, I guess.
I don't get the feeling that they are the ones who created this path of carnage, so maybe we could see what did to verify it was who
We
we're
could offer
after. I mean, yeah, I guess. Yes, we should absolutely do that.
Samaritans do.
That sounds like people who want to help what they do,
Not
right?
offer. We don't have to help per se. We can just ask them some questions.
All right, I'll start heading that direction.
Okay.
Okay,
As
I'll
you-
go with you. Yeah.
As you draw closer, you can hear that central Koatoa, who's kind of dressed a little extra funny, yell out, "Kosh, Kosh!" Then there's another murmur amongst the Koatoa gathered. You get a few like wary looks as you press through the village, but the Koatoa who are currently moving from building to building, they look bedraggled. They look exhausted. They don't look like they have any interest in engaging in combat with you. Several of them look to the ground. Some of them even scurry away as you walk through. And when you reach the crowd gathered at the edge of the lake, they all kind of fall silent and all heads turn. These big upon you, and they stare expectantly.
I will yell out, "Gosh, gosh!" Because obviously that's been going over well. They haven't eaten that fellow, so...
There's a bit of surprise in their faces. And now that you're close enough to them, you hear them say, kind of as a reverent murmur, "The bottomless stomach."
Nope, don't like that.
I mean, I know Shakal eats a lot, but I'm not sure they're talking about any of us.
The one who's dressed a little extra funny does a kind of reverent gesture with its hands, like reaching out to the lake, and then saying "Kosh Ka" in response to you there, Urala. And there's a murmur amongst the Koatoa, and they say, "The hungering maw."
Shit.
No. No.
I don't think we want to be dinner. I don't want to be dinner.
Right?
The Koatoa approaches. Also looks a bit bedraggled. You can see just exhaustion all over its face. It has a slight limp. It looks like it has seen some combat. Its compatriots linger back towards the edge of the lake. It stops about 15 feet away and reaches into a bag and pulls out some what appears to be maybe squid and reaches it out to you. And it says, "I am." Oh, okay, I can do this. Pleepulup. I am Pleepulup.
Oh, Koatoa.
Oh my god, I love it.
I am they who speak to Kosh Kash, the one who shall consume us all. The other Koatoa murmur reverently.
No.
Koatoa nods solemnly, and then holds the squid out to you.
Who does he hold it out to?
You, Arala, because you invoked Kosh Kash.
Oh, well,
The
shit.
hungering maw.
I'll take it, and I'm gonna ask: as the voice of Kosh Cash is, are
The
they?
ever-ending-
Oh man, are they stopping by today?
Bleepulup sadly shakes its head and says, "We must first prepare the bodies for Kosh Kash, the divine chewer of meat and bone and other things." There's another reverent kind of call and response.
No.
And he says, "Alas, the archpriest Derpel Glurp tried to protect the village but lost his life in the process. We are preparing his body to return to Kosh Kash, he who shall eat us all in the end."
Huh.
Many of us were killed, and many of us in death rose to serve that thing.
Kosh Cash,
So reassuring.
right?
Creature with all the teeth.
Oh.
Benevolent?
So They rose to serve Koshkash or some other thing.
The fish from down below. Uh, 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 Bleepaloop shakes its head and says, "No, there was a monster who came, clutching a book to his chest.
Damn it,
Derpelglurp
Simon.
wanted us to throw it into the waters of the Lake of Shadow, there to be eaten by He will eat us all." But we were unsuccessful, and it cut us down. And our brothers and sisters rose and followed it. All we can do is pray to Koshkash, the one with 15 sets of teeth that never needs to go to the dentist.
Those are my new favorite creatures. I love them so much.
Right? I'm just gonna turn to my fellows and just be like, I'm
So
not
what
sure
did
we
they-
should stay here.
Shouldn't, but we should find out what the carrier of the book looks like. Because I think we know who that is.
Okay. And I'll kind of move Tina forward and hand her the squid, just in case the squid is needed to talk.
The talking stick.
Right.
Still talking squid. What did the carrier of the book look like?
He was like a fish that had risen from the waters, but not one who appears like Koshkash. Then there's the eternal eater of things smaller than itself, as they chant in response to the utterance, the name. The Koatoa Archpriest nods solemnly upon hearing this. He says, "No, it had the tentacles of a squid
Oh, like
pulling from its face."
that
and
would
slimy.
be Klondras.
I'm gonna quickly hand the squid over to Urvala and just
Oh, dear.
bow. Just bow really low and awkwardly. And then back up as I'm bowing.
Bye.
Do you know of this monster?
I'm gonna look behind me. Is anyone close to me?
Right behind you.
Excellent. I will hand the squid back to you. and just gesture yes and step away so that we I'll kind of mutter to Tina, no give backs. So you can't give the squid back to me. It's them's the rules. And I will step away.
Say that this sounds like a dangerous being with dangerous knowledge, and then hand the squid quickly back to this guy, and then bow immediately and back up while I'm bowing with my face looking directly at the ground, arms out.
Amazing.
You can see on the ground where all of the congregants are standing. There is a Koatoa. I mean, finery is not the right word to use here. I suppose in context to Koatoa, it's finery. There's a very ornate, quote unquote, staff. It would be not very large for a normal sized creature. It's bound with sinew, and there's this huge lobster claw-like thing that's been fixed to the top. It's some kind of like ritual implement. There are bowls of eels and entrails, kelp. And it appears that they've been preparing this body. There's layers of kelp already covering part of its face, and entrails apparently squeezed out from these eels are being laid out in intricate patterns across its chest. Those gathered stand kind of solemnly, if not even sullenly, sense of sadness.
Oh, their buddy died. Her pre. Their friend.
Do you seek this creature? Asks the one engaged with you guys currently. Do you know this creature?
Tina's quiet, looking at everybody else.
Right. I mean, we're not on a first name basis. I mean, we know his first name, but he doesn't know our names at all, I don't think.
Oh, then you know how dangerous it is.
I mean, is it?
Limited knowledge. Limited knowledge of this.
Look what he's done to our village. Look what he's done to our people. It is dangerous. The book is dangerous. Derpoglurb gave his life in an attempt to take it from him. It must be taken from him. Derpoglurb has a very good hunch about many things. Koshkash tells him, Koshkash, the one who tells us things, has never steered Derpoglurb wrong.
Okay, so everyone huddle up over here. I feel like we need to have like a huddle talk here. So my entirety of interaction with Klondras has been he looked at me when a flaming inn fell on us and killed us. That wasn't really his fault as far as I know, and he wasn't really doing anything but protecting himself. And then we saw him run in and like jump through the portal that Simon Tiber had summoned. I didn't actually see him when the rest of you all were like, yeah, we'll go kick Simon Tiber's butt for you. But we had agreed to do that for him, right?
I believe
like to help him and the other Gith out. So this doesn't sound like Klondras other than the face tentacles. Are we maybe on the wrong trail, or is something wrong with him? What do you all think?
Predates Raylan's time, kind of.
True.
So she's just like, it's literally like her exact noises. It's just.
I mean, Tina, you're the one who saw him in the room where the Giths were, and you agreed to do this. Does this sound like him?
I mean, well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't totally sound like him. It's like too much carnage, almost. Not his style.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
seems refined.
Okay. Shikal, did you interact with him? I don't remember.
I don't believe so.
Like he was
Okay.
about beverages, some camaraderie. All of this seems just so fleshy for him.
Well, I mean,
Unless he's having a really bad day and pushed. He's
yeah.
got the book. The book could be doing a thing.
Oh. Okay. So, should we follow this thing's trail? And maybe, if nothing else, maybe it knows where either Klondras or Simon are. If it has the book with them.
I mean, no. Yes, I guess. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's figure this out. Let's ask some questions.
Do not eat my headphones.
Cash, stop trying to eat the headphones.
He is the one who devours all.
All right. I'll sigh and turn to the fellow who's been talking to us. Unless it's obvious, I'll ask this first. Is it obvious which direction this thing went?
Yeah, I mean the lake expands out pretty far, but you can see a wake of destruction to the northwest.
Excellent. Then I feel no need to ask him anything. I'll smile and bow and back away.
Clearly, that's the direction we need to go.
Right?
Strangers.
Easy. How easy is that?
Strangers. Do
He's
you
still
wish?
talking to us.
Do you wish to attend the return of our spiritual leader to Koshkash? He's way better than the Sea Mother.
The sea mother. Oh.
To be fair, this is a funerary rite, and I am a little intrigued, because...
Yeah, we should stay for this. We should stay.
Do
Pay
we need,
respect.
Are we
towels or robes or anything? Will there be
Like a
wetness
headdress.
involved? Right.
Actual shoes.
He says, if you are enemies of the creature, then you are friends of ours. May Koshkash give you guidance and keep you protected from harm. And he casts Mass Cure Wounds.
My God.
Yeah, we'll give you guys some healing. So everybody just go
Ooh.
ahead. Everybody go ahead and take 12 hit points.
Deal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And then
Nice.
he calls out, Kosh, we return to you that which you have given us. He has a tooth for every one of us. And you can see a few of them lift its body up, and they slowly wade out to the black water, and slowly and somber as calls out to Koshkash, and various different descriptors for Koshkash are uttered amongst the reverend, and they reach just at the edge of your vision, where they release his body to the water, and slowly it begins to sink out of sight. And the Koatoa come back, and there's a moment, like a still moment of silence, a very sober, heavy moment, where they all kind of stare out into the lake. There's just this sense of like desperate hope in all of their eyes. The priest approaches you and says, "If you're not going to eat that, we could use it if you don't mind." And gestures to the squid.
Oh, please. Have at it.
You are truly friends to us. If there's one thing I could ask of you, bring us that book. We shall feed it to Koshkash. He likes to read a lot.
Oh, okay.
It is
We can
dangerous. And I can think of no one else capable of dealing with such dangerous darkness than Koshkash. The Hungering Maw.
The echoes, they kill me.
Right.
Are any of you still in
So what?
need of healing? Do any of you still look like you're pretty heavily wounded?
I'm
Heavily
good now.
wounded? No, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Excellent. He thanks you, and they return to the ritual. They're starting to pick up. The priest is trying to organize people to get the rest of the dead bodies to prepare for burial, and you all can see the wake of destruction to the northwest.
Hark, over there. Bodies and carnage.
Hark.
Behold, the path of destruction of which we seek.
It lays right upon these strange tracks that a rail car could go on. I mean, what?
All right, so I'm assuming you're pressing forward along the wake of destruction.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Against my better judgment. Yep.
Yeah, right. Aylus is like,
I-
why do I do this? Why am I
Right.
here?
Oh my god.
Remember
All right,
that time,
so,
Raylan, when you were just like off in the forest enjoying nature, and then we came along and ruined
And a
the rest of
dragon
your
landed.
life, right? Killed you.
Ago, lifetimes ago.
We have.
Lifetimes
I just feel like we should have an IOU like coupon book and just have to like tear one out and hand it to people as we go. I'm sorry. Here's an IOU. Okay.
Jerry.
All right. So you press forward, I assume.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is carnage. There's just carnage as you continue down various different tunnels and enter small caves. You just find blood splatters and viscera, weird viscous black pools, bodies that have been mangled, strung up oddly against stalactites, and it's just horrifying. You hear off in the distance some bellowing. It's a deep, gravelly voice that's just bellowing. And you hear also a kind of a gurgling sound of like air being kind of sucked through some kind of wet, wet, bloody sort of windpipe puncture further up the hallway.
Like
Great.
what noise?
Obviously, we took a wrong turn. Did anyone see another way to go?
Pretty
all
sure
signs
this
point
is
this
the
way.
Yeah.
Do you go investigate?
Clearly we do.
All right, I love it. Okay, so can you see this super amazing map?
Let's find out. Oh my gosh, this is art right here.
I know,
This is-
pure art.
Absolutely beautiful.
I know,
It is
I know.
hard.
Who's the
Spent hours
stunner
on
in the
this one.
corner?
It's like
Yeah.
Fabio over here.
It's like
Right?
Fabio.
Fabio.
Joke about the map, but my dog water internet can't handle dynamic lighting, so I'm very pleased.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, I
So-
definitely don't have dynamic lighting. It's great.
You are in a corridor that's about 25, 30 feet wide. There's big stalagmite, stalactite columns that block partial view. But up ahead, a pretty badly wounded stone giant engaged in mortal combat with the severed head of another stone giant. But the head appears to be, not only animated, but like there's a really gross sheen to its skin. It's like one of those super wet mushrooms that you find in the woods. Kind of a. It's not like a
Ew.
normal slime. It's
Moist slime.
it's gross. It's gross. See parts of its skin like sloughing off as if hit with a huge dose of radiation. They are engaged in some pretty significant combat. What do you do?
Does one have more goodness than the other that we can perceive?
You can roll an insight if you'd like.
Right.
Sure.
Oof.
I didn't need to do that. I needed to do that. That's what I needed to do.
Okay, what's your roll? Insight. Yeah, I mean they're both pretty locked in combat, meant for the death.
Great.
Currently, the stone giant has a bit of. Partly because it's a very large creature and he's fighting a head, but the head is being pretty mean right now to this poor stone giant. That looks like it wants to stay alive.
Squabble.
Huh?
It seems like a family squabble.
Let's see, how far away? Too far. We have to go this way anyway, so I'm gonna kind of like creep up as much as my, armor allows me to be a creep.
Yeah, roll me a stealth at disadvantage. You got this.
12.
Great.
They don't appear to have noticed you at the moment. They seem to both have their focus pretty much on one another.
I'm gonna look back to see if anyone's following me.
Raylan is going to use her vanish and just kind of, sneak around this way. And when she sees you're all going, she's like, "Oh God, I better stay close."
I'm like tiptoeing forward, but like my scale mail's like clang, clang, clang.
All right. So what do you do? The giant swings down, breathing heavily, trying to strike the head, and it. For a brief second, you can see spider legs explode out from its neck, and it skitters out of the way, dodging just in time. It lashes out with a bite. The giant bellows more.
See, Jeremy, having seen the thing, just wants to run away. Just wants to set fire to all of this, everything that way, and just go that way. But Urala, knowing that something that is just ahead should probably not still be alive, feels like he needs to, help Kellamvor to take this thing to where it's supposed to go, and I'm going to toll the dead on the head.
Nice. All right. So go ahead and roll into initiative, and we'll roll our wisdom saving throw. It has advantage. and it rolls a 7, which means it fails.
Okay. Let me do initiative real quick. Bloop. And
Oof.
do some damage on the
Nice.
where.
So that's everybody.
Interesting.
Let's go ahead. Bam. So go ahead and roll me. I believe you are at 3d8
3D.
or 3d12. 3d12 because it is damaged.
Okay. That'll be 20, and I am. This one is it's necrotic, so if it is immune to necrotic, it doesn't do anything. If it is resistant to necrotic, it takes the full damage.
It's going to take the full damage. Bam.
Nice.
You can see like parts of its skull get exposed as you fry off some of its.
And then I'll just like
weird
look at the
body
stone
part.
giant and give it a thumbs up and wave.
Perfect.
Finger guns.
right.
Okay.
The giant looks very concerned. Do you speak giant? Anyone speak giant?
No.
No.
I'm pretty sure that is a no.
So-
I had to double check. No.
He
No.
yells
Speak
something out
Vidalcan.
in giant with urgency. It's almost as if he's warning you that there's danger.
No, I could.
Ah.
I'm just like bigger guns.
All right. So now that we're all into combat, Tina, initiative is yours.
Oh my gosh. So he's seems like he's warning us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yell out. Are you a friend?
Let's see here. Does he speak common? Nope.
He's just like, you don't kill steal on my head. I want the experience for this.
He looks like I mean it's urgent. He looks concerned. He shouts something back out at you at giant.
I wish I knew what he said. I'm gonna try and hand gesture to him, like walking that way. Okay.
I mean, you can tell like he's warning you about this head. He looks like he's concerned about you getting any closer.
So,
That there's this dangerous thing here.
and is the head like dead? What did?
Well, I mean, it's definitely moving around. Like when it's rolling about, and biting at the giant. Every now and then it'll pop these like weird spider legs out of its neck and skitter about, gaining some air, try and bite at its shoulders. It's a head and would normally be on a but heads when they're removed from bodies don't normally do this sort of thing.
Well, I'm thinking the wall of light just on the head where it doesn't touch the other guy. So
Okay.
like wall of light on him, and let's say over here, just a little blurb.
So like that.
Yeah.
So he's going to need to make I believe it's a Dex con. It's a con. He has advantage.
Just on the head.
Oh, he fails. Your DC's correct in this one. That's weird.
Oh, weird.
Super weird. So it's 17 points of radiant, and it would be blind if it didn't have blind sight. Minus 17. Okay. Anything else there, Tina?
Gonna like thumbs up, like yeah, like yeah. Finger
At this stage, he can't see you. You've got the wall of light up. So
I'm
you
gonna yell out, is that good? Good?
I feel
it
like it's
bellows
a
something
perfect.
out in giant.
I feel like it's perfect opportunity for the head to sprout a bunch of thumbs and give you the thumbs down.
Ew. Oh, okay. Anything else, Tina?
No, that'll do it.
All right, Raylan.
Okay. Raylan is going to cast spike growth, like right here-ish, so that
Ooh.
the spikes are under the head, but not under the big stone giant.
I like
Do you know what the radius of that is?
20 feet.
20 feet.
So maybe like here instead. Well, no. She doesn't want to get your roll up.
Yeah, that
Here?
would also
Here?
be Tina.
Here's,
Are you
here's,
are you
here's
sure you
she's
don't want to
good.
get your all?
So you want it to be there?
I'm trying to do math here.
'Cause that will still hit Arella and will hit the giant.
It will hit it here?
Yep, it's 20 feet radius, right?
5, 10, 15. Oh, it would hit the giant. But Urala, 5, 10, 15. Oh, it would hit Urala.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
Damn.
We're going to do it here.
Okay. So let's see here.
I think that should be okay.
Let's see, that's about 20 feet. No. Come on. Ah, stupid shapes. Oh, come on.
Shapes.
Shapes are dumb. Shapes are dumb. Okay. Is that about right? Probably.
Oh, size-wise? Yes, but she wants it like here-ish.
Okay, so like that.
Yeah, like that. Exactly.
It would be just outside Urala.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So
And
it
I
takes
like
damage.
that it, is between me and the head. I love that. Thank you.
So
I turn and give you a thumbs up.
it only takes damage if it moves through the space, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Oh, okay. Anything else, Raylan?
She's going to prepare Hunter's Mark on the head.
Okay.
No, she can't. Never mind. That's also a concentration spell. Never mind. No, she's not.
Perfect. Then we move on to Urala.
Uh-oh. Well, that worked last time, so let's just drop some more Toll the Dead on it.
Toll the Dead. All right, here we go. Wisdom at advantage. Ba-doop. And it fails.
Wow. He's not doing very well.
He
Which
is
I'm
not.
completely fine with. So that's 22 necrotic.
22. All right. Cool. Anything else, Urala?
Just glancing back at everyone else. Everyone's doing okay?
I mean, define okay. We're battling ahead.
Right. I feel like I should
mean,
give like some kind of spiritual support, so I'll thumbs up everybody. Okay, that's my turn.
Perfect. Shakal.
I'm gonna do what I do best. Move up. Make sure I can get up to it. I definitely cannot. Maybe? Hold on. Where's the movement?
Do not eat my headphones. My God.
Oh, I might. Let me see.
Darn it, Kosh Cash.
Hello.
The one with all the teeth.
That would be my cat. Yes, the one with all the teeth.
Your cat is now the official Kosh Cash mascot of this game.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Summoner of all the tuna.
Yes, the summoner of all the tuna, eater of all the squid. Yes.
Love it.
Am I able to step in that circle?
You would take damage.
It is difficult terrain. Also.
Well, I guess I will move 3 more spots over here, and I don't have anything to chuck at him, so I'll hold my action if he gets closer to punch him.
Perfect.
When do you get to run on walls and stuff?
I think I can, but I wouldn't be able to get up to
Right.
my movement.
And then you'd fall into the spikes. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Would be bad.
All right. The giant, taking this opportunity, swings and hits once with his great club, dealing a whole bunch of damage. And that is enough to squish the head, and pouring out of it are all of these little tiny spiderlings, but they're kind of not. They're not like all the same shape or size. Some of them have like extra bits added to them, weird polyps and antennae, and even visible teeth, extra large eyes, wings even. Like it's just this horrible flood of this gross swarm of creatures that all dissipate into soot as they leave about a 5-foot radius from its head, I suppose, the head. And the stone giant collapses to the ground, breathing heavily, and trying to catch its breath and take in like the horrors that it has just experienced.
All right, I'm going to turn to my fellows here and just say, okay, obviously this stone giant has things covered from here on out. We should go heal him. I'll take care of that. And then we should leave and just let him take care of things from here on out.
Okay. I'm gonna drop the wall as you're saying that.
Are you going to leave the spike growth up?
No. Sorry, Raylan's gonna drop that too.
Okay.
All right.
I'll head that way unless anything happens.
Yeah,
Nothing
I'll
happens.
go with you.
The stone giant
Hey! Sorry.
is watching you guys. I mean, there's definitely gratitude in his face. Grief, shock, probably would be something that you would read off of him. He's gazing down at the head. There's definitely recognition in his eyes. He looks a bit torn, fused, and then looks out to you guys again and reaches into his sack kind of with a trembling hand and pulls out a very smooth stone and places it on the ground with his fingers still touching it, and then looks at all of you expectantly.
Like we're supposed to touch the stone?
Maybe.
What it looks like.
Right. I'm going to skirt the head to make sure none of those little spider things come, like, you know, like as all the other ones fall into soot, like that one that was hiding in there comes running out and climbs into my ear hole or something. And I'm not going to touch the stone, but I'm going to touch the giant and cast. Let's do 2nd level Cure Wounds.
Awesome.
So he'll get 11.
He looks grateful, and then looks down at the stone, and then back at you, and then points at his head, and then at his mouth.
He wants someone to hit him or feed him the stone. I'm not sure.
His fingers are still touching it.
I'll look
He's going to
expectantly
put
at the
us
others.
in his mouth?
Oh
Are we
no!
supposed to climb on the stone?
I mean, it's a
Terrible at
big
charades.
stone, but it's really well polished. It's very finely crafted in a very minimalist sort of sense. And he gestures with his free hand to draw closer.
Like, he doesn't want us to hit him with the stone, right?
No. He's touching the stone. It's on the ground, and he's touching it, and has gestured for you to come and also.
Oh, screw it. Raylan's going to touch it.
Yeah, I'll do it. Like, we can do it all at the same time. Okay.
Right. I mean, at the moment, contact with the stone, like kind of like Vulcan mind melding. Only it's like stone melding, and you're able to during the brief period of time that you're in contact with the stone, understand one another. And
Okay.
he says it is not common to have those who speak common in these tunnels. You must know that it is dangerous here. There is a mind flayer uttering a language that rends the skin, causes pain. It rips your flesh apart and animates what remains, like this, like Nonus.
This poor guy has PTSD.
Right? How do we not have PT? We've died 3 times?
I think we do.
You probably will.
Post-traumatic death syndrome.
Gonna wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night after the event.
Screaming Cash.
Gosh.
I mean, yes, we're going this way because who doesn't want to follow death and destruction?
He says, if you go that way, you will surely find the foul mage and what remains of my kin.
Oh, God, I feel so sorry for him.
I am Jerdor, and I am in your debt.
Jordor, I'm gonna give him a hug. He needs
I mean, he's
a hug.
pretty big. It's pretty big.
I'm
but it's the
gonna
thought that
I'm
the
gonna
thought that matters.
pat him on the back and give him a good snuggle hug. And touch the stone and say, "I'm so sorry for your loss." And then step back.
He grimly nods and says, everything that creature touches is destroyed. I have never seen anything like it. He has this book. You could feel it corrupting the rock. It is very bad. You are very brave to seek this creature.
Or we'll call it brave.
Instead of stupid.
Look at everybody and kind of like, yeah, super brave, super brave.
Jerdor sits back leaning back against the cavern wall. He looks really tired. His skin appears a bit paler than it was before. And you can see small kind of twitches, ripples in his skin.
The
he-
spiders.
He clears his throat, kind of a slight cough, and has a brief, faraway look in his eye, and snaps back. Looks momentarily confused, but centers his focus on the party, and says, "Oh, it's you. I
I
owe
don't
you."
like that.
I think we should be going now.
Yeah.
Damn it, Simon.
That sounds like a great idea.
Stalker. What an absolute stalker.
You just rest here, I think, and we'll be going. Bye.
He suddenly winces, kind of doubling over. There's a bit of black ichor sputtered out from his mouth. His eyes are a bit bloodshot, and some of the color of his iris has kind of gone black. And he looks about a bit wildly, and has like a pleading look on his face as he looks back at the party.
Do I think that
Oh my
there's
God,
anything my
he was
magic can do to help him?
Roll me an Arcana.
Sure. How about a religion since it's divine magic?
Sure, I'll take that.
If that's all right. I mean,
Go for it.
shit. I'm gonna go with Arcana instead.
12. Yeah. You could deduce that his body is undergoing a transformation, and that probably, if it is not stopped, he probably will evolve to his next Pokemon level. And there are probably some indications that this may be a curse. You could also probably things like madness, things that would cure madness, probably would also cure this.
Would something like dispel magic do that, or is it more like a restoration thing?
It'd be something more in the greater restoration, remove curse sort of space.
Interesting.
Wait. Doesn't Raylan have a potion for that?
Do you?
Hold on.
Because the cleric does not have the spells for that.
I forget what we used and we didn't use.
We have that potion of healing.
Right. Oh, I think we already used the restoration potion. Or like, okay. Raylan only has detect poison and disease. She doesn't have anything to cure it. She can just detect it.
Right.
Never mind.
So you, I guess,
I don't know if we have
watch
anything to
him
help
as,
him.
he
Sorry,
shudders.
My brain is rapidly going through my spells while I am slowly going through my spells. Yeah, really, dispel magic is the top of my abilities right now. I could banish him.
That would buy you time.
Sure.
Uh,
I could throw up a wall between us and him, and we could just step away. We could do that.
Well, I know you're down on your spells a lot, so I'm gonna banish him.
Okay.
All right. The stone giant is going to roll I believe it's a wisdom, or is it charisma? Wisdom, I think.
believe it is a wisdom.
Boop.
Darn you.
Yeah, the stone giant kind of looks over at you, and in kind of broken, it's like the frequency is kind of degrading a bit, with fear in his voice. He asks, "What is happening to me?"
Oh, this poor guy. Oh my god.
Oh,
I
my
will, as
heart.
calmly as possible, respond to him. You're going to Kellenfor. Just roll with it.
Roll with it.
All right. Well, then at that, he lets loose a terrible cry, and his body is torn asunder. His flesh begins to warp, joining with other dead flesh of the giants around,
my God.
slowly fusing together and rising as this massive, squishy stone flesh abomination with multiple heads. Let's see if I can
Voltron,
get,
is that you?
let's see if I can get a bit more of a description here for you. Mean.
I feel like we failed this guy. Just saying.
Yeah, I feel really
Yeah.
I
bad.
just feel sad.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
rough.
heartbroken. Yeah.
Yeah, it's big, it's scary. Let's go ahead and we're gonna throw the hydratic equation into the fold.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The evil hydratic equation.
Best mini ever.
Yeah. And this is where we will end session, having failed this poor stone giant who has witnessed the death of his kin in the wake of destruction that is Klondras and the Book of Vile Darkness.
Poor guy.
Horrible
Wow.
foul magics have twisted the remaining corpses, and before you stands this abomination of pure evil. Until next time, death is expensive.
Wow. All right. Well, see you next week, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.